usual. একটু আগের থেকে নেব কারণ ওকে ওকে Okay, we'll start with our prayers. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanu Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Aviravirmaidhi Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Akhandam Satchidanandam Avang Manasagocharam Atmanam Akhiladharam Asraye Bhishta Siddhai. May we be protected, may we be nourished, may we strive with energy and vigor, may our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om peace, peace, peace. I take refuge in the self, the individual, the existence, consciousness, bliss, absolute, beyond the reach of words and thought, and the substratum of all, for the attainment of my cherished desire. So, before we start, we'll start with the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. David?
Yes, Swami.
Yes, go ahead.
Nowadays, it is very hard even to talk of renunciation. It was said of me in America that I was a man who came out of a land that had been dead and envied for 5,000 years and talked of renunciation. So says perhaps the English philosopher. Yet it is true that that is the only path to religion. Renounce and give up. What did Christ say? He that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. Again and again did he preach renunciation as the only way to perfection. There comes a time when the mind awakes from this long and dreary dream. The child gives up its play and wants to go back to its mother. It finds the truth of the statement. Desire is never satisfied by the enjoyment of desires. It only increases the more, as fire when butter is poured upon it.
Okay, just a minute. Let us explore this or understand this. Renunciation. Thing is, if we don't renounce, then it will renounce us. Like suppose someone loves sweet and he eats too much of sweet, what will happen? Diabetes will come, so doctor will say, don't eat sugar or sugary content. If you have something, love for fried things or fatty things, if you eat too much, then doctor will say, okay, now stop eating. So either way, we have to renounce. There is no escape from there. The thing is, it is better that if someone learns before somebody forces. Now, suppose another case I am giving you, not to steal. Okay. If you say, no, okay, let me try to see what happens stealing. Then the police will beat you and then put you behind the bars. And then ultimately, when someone is arrested, then he cannot steal anymore. But what is he jeopardizes his fate. So renunciation is the way. There is no doubt about it. Now, what renounce? The problem is we think that we are to renounce everything that comes to us. Let us renounce one thing, that is ego. Renunciation of ego, that is most important. And Sri Ramakrishna made it easier. He said, okay, for grihasthas, at least mentally you renounce. Easy. Mentally you have to think that this whatever money that I have, actually it's not my money, it is all God's money. And it's so. So how you know that you have money? You have a bank account and it's written that you have $2 million. Only written. It belongs to the bank. And they invest it and give maybe some interest. So what is the point? Point is, one should not at least intellectually possess it. My family, yes, think about it. That's all great family of God. We are only a player. So this will give you strength. That is why renunciation is more important. Okay, go ahead.
This is true of all sense enjoyments, of all intellectual enjoyments, and of all the enjoyments of which the human mind is capable. They are nothing. They are within Maya, within this network beyond which we cannot go. We may run therein through infinite time and find no end. And whenever we struggle to get a little enjoyment, a massive misery falls upon us. How awful is this? And when I think of it, I cannot but consider that this theory of Maya, this statement that it is all Maya, is the best and only explanation. What an amount of misery there is in this world. And if you travel among various nations, you will find that one nation attempts to cure its evil by one means, and another by another. The very same evil has been taken up by...
You are breaking.
If it has been minimized...
You dropped.
Oh. Okay. Is it okay now? Okay.
This is true.
From where?
This is true of all sense enjoyments.
Okay. Let's see. Go back.
Go back.
This is true of all sense enjoyments, of all intellectual enjoyments, and of all the
enjoyments. We have 5 senses, and if you overuse it, then also it will make you suffer. Therefore, sense enjoyment is not good. Intellectual enjoyments, what intellectual enjoyments? That we have this thing at my possession, or that thing belongs to me. So all kinds of intellectual enjoyments. So enjoyments means you are limiting yourself with that idea. See, suppose somebody is, say, PhD. So I am PhD. How, then his growth is stopped. So even intellectual enjoyments are not good because that binds, and of all enjoyments of which the human mind is capable. Okay, go ahead.
They are nothing. They are within Maya, within this network beyond which we cannot go.
So, like this, in your dream, suppose you got $1 billion. What of that? It's, as soon as you wake up, the $1 billion have gone. That's why the example given by Sri Ramakrishna, that his only son died, and then wife was weeping and he was not weeping. And then wife complained, you see, this is like a stone, hard as a stone. He's not weeping. My son has died and he's not weeping. Then he explained that last night I was dreaming that I have I was a king and I have seven princes, and all were educated and well versed in weaponry, etc., etc. And in the morning, they all vanished. Now you tell me, should I weep for those 7 children or this your snubby child of yours? So, all this shows that it's only in the domain of Maya, in our imagination, in our thinking. We are to outgrow that minimum thinking of that I am small. Rather, we have to anchor in such a state that nothing surpasses. Yes.
We may run therein through infinite time and find no end. And whenever we struggle to get a little enjoyment, a mass of misery falls upon us. How awful is this? And when I think of it, I cannot but consider that this theory of Maya, this statement that it is all Maya, is the best and only explanation. Is my voice carrying, Swami?
Now it's okay, yeah.
What an amount of misery there is in this world. And if you travel among the various nations, you will find that one nation attempts to cure its evils by one means, and another by another.
So, like suppose, now let us take a modern example. Invasion of Ukraine. Now, America is pushing its all weaponry and Russia is, like invading. All play of ego. What for? Inviting misery for the whole world. And it's for nothing. Now my sphere of influence should not go beyond me. And Russia is thinking, they are intruding in our territory. All kinds of things. What I'm saying, like this is small things. And what for? For nothing. Only just ego. Play of ego and vanity. Yes. And try to minimize, okay, there should not this stealing and that, or terrorism, all kinds of things. But ultimately nobody can stop it. I'm not saying not to do. What I'm saying, at least we have to understand this truth. Yes.
The very same evil has been taken up by various races, and attempts have been made in various ways to check it, yet no nation has succeeded. If it has been minimized at one point, a mass of evil has been crowded at another point. Thus it goes. The Hindus, to keep up a high standard of chastity in the race, have sanctioned child marriage, which in the long run has degraded the race. At the same time, I cannot deny that this child marriage makes the race more chaste. What would you have? If you want the nation to be more chaste, you weaken men and women physically by child marriage. On the other hand, are you in England any better off? No, because chastity is the life of a nation. Do you not find in history that the first death sign of a nation has been unchastity? When that has entered, the end of the race is in sight. Where shall we get a solution of these miseries then? If parents select husbands and wives for their children, then this evil is minimized. The daughters of India are more practical than sentimental, but very little poetry remains in their lives. Again, if people select their own husbands and wives, that does not seem to bring much happiness. The Indian woman is generally very happy. There are not many cases of quarreling between husband and wife. On the other hand, in the United States, where the greatest liberty obtains, the number of unhappy homes and marriages is large. Unhappiness is here, there, and everywhere. What does it show? That after all, not much happiness has been gained by all these ideals. We all struggle for happiness. And as soon as we get a little happiness on one side, on the other side, there comes unhappiness.
So the idea is that in this sphere of Mahamaya, we cannot minimize something. Some problem or other will come. Therefore, it is better to outgrow. Okay. Go ahead.
Shall we not work to do good then? Yes, with more zest than ever. But what this knowledge will do for us is to break down our fanaticism. The Englishman will no more be a fanatic and curse the Hindu. He will learn to respect the customs of different nations. There will be less of fanaticism and more of real work. Fanatics cannot work. They waste 3/4 of their energy. It is the level-headed, calm, practical man who works. So the power to work will increase from this idea. Knowing that this is the state of things, there will be more patience. The sight of misery or of evil will not be able to throw us off our balance and make us run after shadows. Therefore, patience will come to us, knowing that the world will have to go on in its own way. If, for instance, all men have become good, the animals will have in the meantime evolved into men and will have to pass through the same state, and so with the plants. But only one thing is certain. The mighty river is rushing towards the ocean, and all the drops that constitute the stream will in time be drawn into that boundless ocean. So in this life, with all its miseries and sorrows, its joys and smiles and tears, one thing is certain, that all things are rushing towards their goal, and it is only a question of time when you and I and plants and animals and every particle of life that exists must reach the infinite ocean of perfection, must attain to freedom, to God.
Yeah. So that is the goal. We have this idea that we are small being, that we are limited, that we are impure, we are short living. But the scripture says that these ideas are erroneous, it is false. The reality is, what is happening? You are imposing the ideas of your body onto you. Then you are thinking you are small, limited, and short living, and not all knowing. In fact, you are Nitya, eternal, Shuddha, pure, Buddha, evolved, like enlightened. And Mukta, you are free. This we are to discover. This is the goal of knowledge. To discover that our real nature is Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta Swabhav. That means it is eternal. It is pure, purest, or pure. Purest, if I say purest, then there will be comparison. But this is the purity itself. And already enlightened. But we don't understand because we have imposed body-mind complex ideas onto our real self. So the goal of knowledge is to remove this ignorance, that we are not limited, we are not short living, we are pure. So this idea, so it is like this, a little praise of knowledge. Suppose there is a car and you go and pray to car, oh car, please take me. It will not take nowhere. So what is the best way? Either you request someone, please take me somewhere. Okay, so you have to pray to someone. Then out of grace, he'll come. Okay, okay, your request is granted. So I am coming to help you. So this is one way, yes, no doubt. The second way is learn driving. And then go here and there. Pray whenever you want. So this is knowledge. Okay, like it's simple. First we learned how to write. So miss or ma'am, whatever, came and said, put this line like this, first like this, and cut in between. And what is this? It is called A. Oh, A. So we repeated many times. A. Many times A. And then we forget also. Again we come back. What is that? Oh, it is A. Oh, A. A say A, apple. Apple. Okay, so we understand. Same thing is here. It's not something, extraordinary we are bringing somewhere else. Okay, now let us go a little deeper. What is happening? We are doing something repetitively and internalizing it. Suppose now you are writing, your name you are writing, Elizabeth. So you are not asking, how it is A look like, or E look like, and L look like. You have internalized E, so no need of looking at what is the E, then L, I, and this, that. No, because it is internalized. Now musicians, what musicians do? So say first they go to notes, say sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa. Okay, and then the combination, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, like this. And then various combinations. And then they can sing, they can play. At the time of singing or playing, they don't, what is her look like? No, it is internalized. So people may ask, Swamiji, we are reading this Vedantasara, what is the advantage of it? After reading, we are the same people. No, because we are repeating first, repetition many times. Then it will be gradually internalized. Then immediately whatever we see, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, everything is Brahman, it will flash. Aham Brahmasmi, it will flash. I am Brahman. I am not small, I am not limited. This idea must flash. It should be internalized. So this is the praise of knowledge. Instead of praying, please take me to bank or Fred Meyer, it's better to learn how to drive. Simple. Okay, and internalize. That time you don't see manual how to turn left or how to turn right. As simple as that. Okay. Now, when we go to technical things, then it's so puzzling. Not to think that way. Okay? So in the beginning, you have felt same thing when Miss said this is A for apple. Now it is easy for you because you have internalized. Right? So, now comes. What we have learned, let us recapitulate a little. So, Soyam Devdatta. It is the same Tom. So what is the point? So there is Saman Adhikaranya. That means It is being said by the same Devadatta. The Devadatta is common. That time Devadatta and this time Devadatta. So Devadatta is common. Time frame is different, that time and this time. So this is one called Samanadikaranya. That means same locus. What is the next? Samanadikaranya. Samanadikaranya, Sambandha. And Visheshana Visheshya Bhava. Visheshana Visheshya is qualification. Red rose. So by red, what I am excluding other colors. So I am specifying red, it is red, not yellow, not blue, not other colors. So this is the relationship. And third, Lakshya Lakshana. That means what is being implied. I said, Shabdartha, Shabda means whatever sound we say. I say water. Immediately some idea comes to you. Water, water, water. We say water because T is there, okay. So Lakshya means by water I am implying something. So word has meaning. Now after that we decipher the sentence. How it is done? It is very complex. Because we understand in a simple way, but how, the impression, say I am reading something, the impression goes to brain. How the sensory nerves take to brain, in what form, how it is interpreted, how it is understood is all very, very complicated story. But suppose we don't worry about it. Just think that there is, please bring a glass of water. Immediately he'll go, Swamiji, this is a glass of water. So we interpret by seeing the sentence. Sometimes if I say the same thing, but that mean that I don't need. I need a glass of water. So that means, have I said I need a glass of water? So the same sentence may mean differently, because by implication, depending on my mood, depending on my way of delivery, I need you very badly. So here bad means not bad. Urgently I need you. So these are the relationship with words. Now what we have discussed, this is the same Tom that I saw 20 years back, same David 20 years back. So what mentally we do, but we don't understand. We deduct that body, mind of Devadatta that time, and this body, mind of Devadatta this time, or Tom this time. And we equate the same person. So when we say tat you, tat tvam, the tvam is tvam, this you, tat that thou art. You are the same. What is same? Same consciousness. Same consciousness. So here, when we say tvam, tat, that, tvam, you are same that. What is being said here? That you are the same consciousness as that is same consciousness. So in the first chapter, what we have understood, if you remember, Jalashaya, and there is pond. Pond is pervaded by space. So one space is pervaded in the pond, and another is the space is unaffected, anupahita. Anupahita means not influenced, or it is not tinged. So space cannot be tinged, but something, say like when I say this book, so this book is limited by space. But space is not obstructed in this, because it is already there, anupahita. Anupahita means, that means it is not tinged, not superimposed. So let us think that way. So first chapter, what we discovered, that forest, one tree and forest. One is a single tree and space, and that word is, what is the word? Anupahita Chaitanya. Vriksha Jalrashi. Just a minute. Akasha reflected in the reservoir. Similarly, Ishvara and Pragya associated. So space associated with that tree, and space associated with the forest. So those may differ, but unassociated space in the tree and unassociated space in the forest, both are the same. So similarly, consciousness pervaded the whole world. We are present in our consciousness. We are present in our consciousness. We are aware, that's why we exist. If I say, Elizabeth, you don't exist, what you will say? Swamiji, you are a busy person, please mind your business. I know that I exist. So this is, awareness is already there within us, and it is all pervading. It is not associated with anything. So when I say tat, that, tvam asi, you are the same Brahman. That means what? Consciousness associated and unassociated with that is seen as consciousness associated and not associated with this self. The consciousness is the same. That is the point. So here other relationships were shown, like a sambandha, what is various differences, relationship. Standing on the same locus, same Devadatta, and Lakshya Lakshan, Visheshana Vishesha, that adjective and qualification. So qualifications may differ, but it is the same person is being qualified. Then Lakshya Lakshan Sambandha, implied and person implied. So they are the same. That is what has been said. And there is another relationship that we have read already. So by implication, say Gangayam Ghoshaha. You know that cowherd village on the Columbia River. But we know that, no village can survive on Columbia River. So that means we imply in our mind that it is on the bank of Columbia River. So this is implication. So here we take, like Shona Dhavati, red is running. So we add there something, that a red horse is running. So here, Tat Tvam Asi, you are the same Brahman, so we are to add that Brahman as that is Brahman. So what is the common thing? That associated or unassociated consciousness in that and in this is the same. So this is what we have studied. Now we go to the next. Yeah, 170. Adhuna aham brahmasmi iti anubhava Vakyartho Varnyate. Now comes realization. As soon as it is said, it is called Mahavakya. Mahavakya means great saying or grand saying. So this is very unique. Why? It is empowering. It gives you the power of driving the car. That means no need of asking anybody. You know that I am complete, I am the whole, I am awareness, consciousness, and bliss absolute. So this idea is given here. But say when we are reading, why we don't get it? Because we are to contemplate this. Shravana, we are to hear many times, and then Manana, we are to cogitate and contemplate many times, many times, until unless we are totally convinced. And then comes Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana means then it is actualized, it is realized, internalized. Then no need of referring any referring manual. It is already within us. The empowerment is given, the license is given. If somebody questions, how you are driving? This is my license. So here comes Adhuna Brahmasmi Ityanubhava Vakyartho Varnyate. Now is being described the meaning of the sentence I am Brahman, expressive of intuitive experiences. Sometimes say this is very difficult to say, I am Brahman. Like those who are followers of devotion, we are devotees. We are not jnani that way. But we are trying to understand what is the essence of it. So they will say, oh, we should not hear such words. Even Vivekananda, Narendra, also said to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna had a book, that Ashtavakra Samhita. So whenever Narendra would come, he said, okay, read this book. And everywhere it is that unification of Brahman, say Jiva and Brahma is one, etc. This is everywhere it is there. See, what is this book? I am Brahman, this cup is Brahman, saucer is Brahman, everything is Brahman. It's sacrilegious. But same Vivekananda, when he came to the West, he preached the same truth. So, how that happened? Because that time he did not internalized that. Maybe he internalized also, like let us think of that way. But for us, he posed this question so that if we have such a question, not to be worried about it. Okay? Rather, that gives confidence. Yes, this happens. But when Nididhyasana is complete, then the realization will come. Until unless, okay, we have to repeat the hearing and also contemplation. So, evam acharyo, I am avoiding the Sanskrit because that may bore you. When the teacher in this way clears the meaning of the words that and thou by the removal এখানে removal আছে. So it is same thing. It's called purification, shodhana. Tat padartha, tvam padartha, shodhana. Shodhana means we have to be careful to take exact meaning, avoiding all the misleading meaning. So that's why there's another, here it is removal, and sometimes it is, what is the other word you said? Yeah, refutation. So either removal, how? By refuting it. So we do it mentally. And it is natural. Whenever we say the same term I saw 20 years back, we do instantaneously. It doesn't take time. We know that, that time he was a boy, and now he's a grown-up man. So we don't calculate all those things. We immediately understand, oh, it's the same Tom. So I am Devdatta. So here, when the teacher in this way clears the meaning of the words that, and thou, by the removal or refutation of superimpositions, and makes the qualified student, the graduated student. When you graduate, you put a cap and after that you throw that cap skyward, all kinds of things. So graduated, well-trained student. So this to be heard many times to graduate. It's not one time. And the day we went to gym, like 20 times, why not? My muscle is not growing. you, you, you cannot complain like that. Or you drank 2 times milk. Mommy, why I'm not getting stronger? You cannot complain like this. So you have to wait, you have to drink, and you have to go to gym and do exercise. Then you'll be strong. So anyway, so that thou art, by removal of superimposition or refuting superimposition, and makes the qualified student grasp the import of the sentence. Import of the sentence, that what is being said. This consciousness here, limited by this body-mind complex, and that consciousness as if limited by this whole world, Samashti. So this is the same. See, this is the same. Qualified student. Grasp the import of the sentence, thou art that, which is absolute unity. There arises in his mind a state of absolute oneness, in which he feels. So if we say feels, then also it is not good. Feeling is a kind of mental modification. Our feelings come, we feel love sometimes, then we feel hate. So it's not feeling also. It's growing in that. Okay. So oneness in which he feels that he is Brahman, by nature eternal, pure, self-illumined, free, real, supremely blissful, infinite, and one without a second. So what is that word? Here it is very good. So, evam acharyena adhyarupapavada purasaram. Adhyarupapavada means, as we saw a snake on a rope, by logic of light. By logic of light, we put on that, is it a snake? Then we say, oh, no, this is not a snake, it is only a rope. So what is happening? Adhyaropa of snakeness is removed. Apavad, tat tvam padartha shodhayitva. By clarifying, by cleansing, by purifying, by removing, by refuting the wrong meaning, whatever is remaining, that means consciousness is the same. So by intellect we are to see the reality. See the reality means whatever is ignorance is removed, then reality shines itself. And it is said that that is called dhyanashet tatrajnanam dhyanashet. When purified mind examines it, then by intellect he can remove the ignorance. A child is saying, Mommy, I have not stolen, I have not taken that, I have not eaten that food from the fridge. But he has eaten. How you know? So you know by intellect. Your mind is clear, all pretension will go away. So mind should be purified. Then you can see through the seeming words which are meaning opposite of that. So a snake is seen by intellect. You have to understand, intellect means purified intellect. You throw light on it, then ropeness will shine. So tatra jnanam dhyanashet and abhasena ghataspuret. That means it does not, your intellect cannot illuminate. Rope will be illumined by itself. You cannot see sun by a torch. Because sun has its own illumination. What you have to do, you have to remove the obstacle from your eyes that is covering your eyes. So here is the same thing. So tattvam padartha shodhayitva vakyena akhandartho abodhite adhikarino aham nitya shuddha buddha mukta satya swabhava paramananda anantadvayam ananta eternal advayam non-dual brahma ityakhandakara karita chitta vritti rudeti. After this, when you have really understood the meaning of the tat and tam padartha, then you have understood the meaning and the unification is done. But it is a chitta vritti, mental modification. Still is the mental modification. It is unifying. You have the idea that I am eternal, I am pure, I am enlightened, and I am not limited, I am not mortal. All these ideas will come. But these are also ideas, or it is the final idea, one single idea. So let me read it. When the teacher in this way clears the meaning of the words that and thou by the removal of superimpositions or refutal of superimposition and makes the qualified student grasp the import of the sentence thou art that, which is absolute unity, there rises in his mind a state of absolute oneness in which he feels that he is Brahman, by nature eternal, pure, self-illumined, free, real, supremely blissful, infinite, and one without a second. So this idea will come. That this idea means even it is chitta vritti, mental modification. Even it is that you are realizing, okay, this. But what happens after that? This chitta vritti also stops. So what we do? When we do japam, we try the same thing. We have millions of chitta vritti, mental modification. So we curtail. So first we close our eyes. So we're not seeing anything. Who is going, who is coming. And gradually, when eyes are shut, then ears also, we sit in a secluded place where there is no disturbing sound or any other thing like bad smell or any other distractions. So we go to the shrine and sit there. So what we do? Curtail many, maybe half, mental modifications. But still in mind, I have to go to shop and I have to meet that person and all kinds of things. That is mental. That will remain. So that's why we take one mantra. We try to repeat that mantra over and over and over again. So gradually, and when you are merged in it, then you have one chitta vritti. ekakara chitta vritti. But ultimately that vritti also stops. Then what happens? Happens. There it is Sri Ramakrishna. He drops in samadhi. And what happens there? He cannot even relate that. So, now the next. Satu chit pratibimba sahita sati pratyak abhinnam ajnatam param brahma vishaykritya tadgata ajnanam eva badhate tada patakaranantantudahe patadahavat अखिल कारणे अज्ञाने बाधिते सति तत्कार्यस्य अखिलस्य बाधितत्वात् तदंतर्भूता खंडकाराकारिता चित्तवृत्तिरपि बाधिता भवति. It's a great thing. That mental state illumined by the reflection of pure consciousness. So that mental state, that mental modification, one vritti, I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. So this is also mental state, huge. All other mental modification merged in one single. It's tsunami. It takes away everything, all relationship, all possessions, etc., etc., etc. Everything is gone because one. It is one. So mental state illumined by the reflection of pure consciousness objectifies the Supreme Brahman, unknown but identical with the individual self. So individual self merged in it. So it is like river merged in the ocean. So in the beginning there is sense of unity, but after that the sense of unity also goes away. The mental state illumined by the reflection of pure consciousness objectifies the Supreme Brahman, unknown but identical with the individual self. So it is unification is done and destroys the ignorance pertaining to Brahman. So first it removes the ajnana, ignorance. Because of ajnana, first it covered its real nature. By when we saw a rope as a snake, the ropeness is covered. Then snakeness is reflected, so projected. The snakeness is projected. So first it removes that covering. So what happens then? Destroys the ignorance pertaining to Brahman. That the separateness that removes. Then, just as a cloth is burnt when the threads composing it are burnt. So what is cloth? All threads. But if thread is the cause of a cloth, where thread is burned, cause is burnt, cloth is burnt. When the cause is removed by refutation, then that veil is also burnt, removed. So, then just as a cloth is burnt when the threads composing it are burnt, so all the effects of ignorance are destroyed when their cause, that means ignorance, is destroyed. Hence the mental state of absolute oneness, which forms part of those effects, is also destroyed. So whatever effects are there, that also is destroyed. Say, then only he merges in samadhi. Then there is no sense of one or many. Even sense of oneness also goes away. So in the beginning, one should not think that way. Then he'll go to deep sleep. And Swamiji said, A fool goes to deep sleep, comes back as a fool. But if a fool goes to samadhi, a wise man comes again. So, here it is tadakara karita chitta vritti. That means chitta vritti also becomes of that in that tune. There is no separateness. So this is. So let me repeat it again because this is a high dose. So Soyam Devdatta. That this is the same Devdatta. Similarly, we have to understand this self and that self is same. So for unification, there is another Mahabhakya that's called Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. Not this body-mind complex. That is implied. And that is Shodhana. Shodhana is purified. By understanding logic. The logic is, we do it mentally all the time. Only we are trying to invoke that same mentality here. Oh, how can I be God? No, not that. Not that. Not this body-mind. When I say, how can I be God? Then we try to impose this, I am this body, mind, and this small person, and not knowing completely, alpagyata, kshudratva, and that not purified, all these qualities we impose. No, we are not talking about it. The consciousness that is within you and consciousness that is in Brahman are the same. We are saying consciousness, but it is absolute awareness, existence, absolute bliss. It cannot be said. It only can be indicated. So that whatever is here, anupahita chaitanya, upahita and anupahita chaitanya, and upahita anupahita chaitanya, there. Chaitanya means awareness, consciousness, is the same. So, satu, that mental state illumined by the reflection of pure consciousness objectifies the Supreme Brahman, unknown but identical with the individual self, and destroys the ignorance pertaining to Brahman. Then, just as a cloth is burnt, when the threads composing it are burnt, so all the effects of ignorance are destroyed. When their cause, that means ignorance, is destroyed, hence the mental state of absolute oneness, which forms part of those effects, is also destroyed. So what remains? It cannot be said. Tadakara karita with chitta vritti. That chitta vritti also merges in that absoluteness. That also merges in absoluteness. So it may it may sound very difficult. Yes, it is difficult also. That's why aneka janma samsiddha tato yati param gatim. So this is not one life mission, one life's mission. Maybe it takes many births, but not to get disheartened. You know, people die to go to Everest. You know, they want to scale Everest. Why for? What for? People will say, oh, he has conquered Everest. Name and fame. Here it is to discover our own Everest within. That is more important, most important. Suppose USA, United States of America, went to moon. What of that? Nowadays again the next, another rat race has started to go to moon and to go to Mars and to explore this whole universe. How much they can do? Like Swamiji said, it's like They are running in Maya, Mahamaya. This great cause, how much one can learn? Rather, it is better to explore within, to find out that the sheath or sheet or the fulcrum of that strength from where everything springs out. It is better to learn that, better to explore that. That is what is our teaching of our Veda. So Vedantasara. So this is, of course, it's not that easy. But what is easy? Everyday eating, sleeping, and everyday dying. Is it easy? That's also not easy. Better one should sannimitte varam tyago vinashi niyate sati. When one will die, it is better to die for a great cause. So this is the message of the Veda and Vedanta. Yeah, the time is up. We'll stop here. Any question from anyone? Akshay?
No,
Anyone?
no,
Eh? Okay.
What can I ask, Maharaj? This is all above the head.
eh?
এগুলো গ্রাস্প করা খুব কঠিন
Okay,
কি
yeah.
প্রশ্ন
Same
জিজ্ঞেস
thing.
করব
Actually, no. Say when the miss started teaching you, A for apple. So what happened? That time also it was difficult. But over time you learned this way, you have to write and how to, sometimes it should be a, sometimes, sometimes you have to pronounce in correct way. Here we have Columbia Gorge. So gorge, Gorge, gorge. So first is G and second G is J. So you know where to say Ga, where to say Ja. It is more difficult. I find it is more difficult.
but Maharaj
Just a minute. Yes.
Okay.
So it is difficult. What is easy? Tell me. You running your household is easy? Most
No.
difficult thing.
Hmm.
Say Holy Mother's life, her household is so difficult. Even Sri Ramakrishna would not have done it. So we ran away from the household. So, oh, baap re baap. I don't want to run this household. So for us it is very difficult even to run a household. You are doing so cleverly, so nicely. So difficult task is easy for you. Rather, this is easy. So what else you are saying?
I was saying that, okay, Maharaj, even if I understand the meaning of it, how can we do it in our life?
Okay, same thing I said. You
How can I
drank,
practice?
just a minute. You drank milk twice, and see, immediately it should flash. It is called Sakrut Vibhati. But why it does not happen? Because we have so many luggage on my head that we have to remove those luggage first. Then only it will dawn on to us. That takes time. But knowledge is direct. It doesn't take time. Immediate. Sakrit Vibhati. Immediately it flashes, like calling in a person by his name. As soon as I say, David, yes, Swami. So it takes no time. As soon as Guru says, Tat Tvam Asi, thou art that, immediately idea comes, I am Brahman. But why it does not happen? How it can be done, that will come later. How it can be done? You have to contemplate, not Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, and also lead a contemplative life, and all the sadhana will be told here. That then all the knots will be removed. Vidyate hridaya granthesh chiddante sarva samshaya. All doubts will go. There is no fear of anybody, fear of death. As of now, every day we are afraid. Oh, I have this disease, pain here, pain there. All this will go. And it is immediate. That's why, and why we are here. We have taken birth. There is only one purpose. Jivan mukti sukha prapti. Hetave janma dharana. So only one purpose. To live a life which is free from all worries. So leading a life but not in life. Say Sri Ramakrishna, best example. Swami Vivekananda. Apparently they also suffered. But in reality they did not suffer. And how to go about it? All the time we talk about. Satya, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, and then Satya, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha and Achaurya. And this 5, and then Shaucha, Santosha, Tapaha, Swadhyaya, Ishwar, Pranidhana. All these are means. And in Bhagavad Gita, many qualities are mentioned there. Bhagavan said, Adveshta sarvbhutana maitra karuna evacha. All kinds that should not hate others, and he should be compassionate. All the qualities are mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So those to be practiced, but at the same time we have to remind ourselves what is our real nature. Only we cultivate those and don't remind ourselves, then it will not work. We have to remind ourselves our real nature all the time. And then one day it will flash. Okay? And you want to say?
I think I will eventually find out that akarya and karya. How is that possible for us?
What is?
Karya.
Karya. Karya and akarya. That means what should be done, what should not be done.
Karya is effect, no? Cause and effect.
Oh, cause and effect. So that's, you say cause and effect. Don't say like, if you use Sanskrit word, then you have to understand the meaning. Karya, that means what should be done, what should not be done. What is work, real duty for me, what is not duty for. And this is Kavayopyatra Mohita. Bhagavan said, Sri Krishna said, even the wise people are also confused. What is my real duty, what is not my real duty? What should be done, what should not be done? Even the wise people are confused. Okay. So then he said, Tatte karma pravakshami yagyatva mokshasya ashuvat. I'll tell you what is to be done. And he said that. So we have to understand that. But what you are saying, cause and effect. When we are in this world, we are in the domain of Mahamaya. What is Mahamaya? That cause and effect, time, space and causation. Time, space and causation. So, since we are operating in time, space and causation, all our actions also will be affected and affect us in time, space and causation. So we need to go out of it. Example, when you are dreaming, the dream tiger will chase you and you will be running. There is no solution there. As Swamiji said, that Maya. Within Maya, there is no solution. But when you wake up, then there is no problem. Swami Ashiranji used to tell, here we have questions, no answer. But when you are awake, there is no question. And there is no need of answer also. What I am saying, in this world, it is very difficult to find the solution because it is all related with karya karan. Karya karan, not karya karya. Karya karan, that means cause and its effect. In this world it is there. It's like dream world. Even you can shoot tiger. In your dream, you shoot a tiger, right? But as you wake up, there is no gun, no tiger. So you have to wake up. And teacher is trying hard to wake us up. Upanishad has already given, Tattvamasi, you are that. Find out who are you. Then we one day will find out, yes, Aham Brahmasmi. I am that Brahman. So then it is flash. Then it is not night. Then it is no snake, it is rope. Then you are driving, you can see water, but you know that it's not water. Have you seen that? When you drive, at distance you can see reflections. But you know that it's not water. So that will happen. Only thing, you need to invest some time, but we don't want to invest. That's the problem. And effort, time and effort also, yes. Okay, so we say our prayer. Akshay, have you left? Yes, I think left. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Like, can you explain this is Devdutt sentence?
Okay, Devdatta. So I am Devdatta. Say you are Akshay. So I'm going to India. So we'll see you. So we'll say, oh, it is the same Akshay who used to join our classes. Right? So here, what will happen? The Akshay person is the same. The consciousness is the same. But as of now, we only know your name. We don't know exactly how you look like, only we see some pictures sometimes. But there, it will be realization. Huh? So, Akshay will be in front of me and say, oh, Swamiji, I am Akshay. See the difference? So, as of now, we cannot touch you. That time, I'll be able to touch you. Okay? So, Soyam Devdatta means Saha Ayam. That Devdatta is, this one is Devdatta. Ayam Devdatta is that. Saha Ayam Devdatta. Devdatta is the same. But what we do mentally we deduct, okay, that child Devdatta. And that time he was not even, graduated. But now he's a wise person. And he has grown stout. He's displaying moustache. That time there was no moustache. And he was lean and thin. So mentally we deduct. So when teacher says, or Upanishad says, Tat Tvam Asi, thou art that. That's in Upanishad. That means you are the same Brahman. Not this body, not this mind. The content is the same. The consciousness is the same. The awareness is the same. Your real essence is the same. Not limiting adjuncts. So that is the point. Okay? Okay. So rest when we meet, that time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. And secondly, another point. We are in dream world. how much one explains or one tries to understand, ultimately it is not understood until or unless we wake up. So we have to try, and when we try to wake up, mother will call, Akshay, now it is time to go to school, get up. So mother is waiting. So when we feel that, no, I don't want any dream anymore, I want to get out of it, then mother will wake up. Wake you up. Okay, thank you. Jai Ma.
Pranam Maharaj.
Namaskar, namaskar. Jai Ma.
Namaste, Swami.
Namaste.
Namaste, namaste. Hari Om.
Pranam.
Namaste.